This is big breaking news. Another massive chemical spill has happened, and you should evacuate if you are in this area. Hydrofluoric acid, which can literally melt your skin and bones off, has been spilled into this creek that leads into a lake that eventually flows into the Mississippi River. So millions of people are potentially at risk of being exposed to this chemical, and there's been a massive leak, and there's barely any coverage on this. Once again, how are these chemicals leaking into our waterways, and why does this keep happening as well? So the spill happened right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. It's actually inside of Mississippi, though, at the Mussacuna Creek. And this creek actually flows into the Arkabutla Lake, and then the lake has a dam and a outlet that has a massive flow into the Mississippi River as well. It flows all the way down to Vicksburg, right outside of Jackson, Mississippi, and eventually runs into the Mississippi River. So what exactly is happening here? Why do these toxic chemicals keep spilling into our waterways and potentially threatening our farmland as well, threatening farm animals, and killing people, all right? There are people in Ohio reporting, quote, Mickey Mouse voices, all right? I didn't want to play the video because I didn't want to get copyright claimed, but there are people, their voice, it's almost like they can't breathe, so their voice is very high pitched. They can't access their airways properly, and they said they feel like they're drowning, so their airways are almost pinched off, and they have like Mickey Mouse voices. This is happening in Ohio right now, all right? And you can also see here 43,000 animals have died just in Ohio, just from this one spill. And that's just what they're reporting on. And we could see a massive die-off as well in this lake, Arkabutla, and possibly in the Mississippi River, because this does run off into the Mississippi as well and goes through all these small towns in between Memphis and Jackson. But don't worry about it. They're telling you it's completely safe. We will get to that in just a second. Let's get to this report here. It says hydrofluoric acid spills into Desoto County Creek after fire. All right. Hydrofluoric acid. And look at this. Hydrofluoric acid is corrosive and readily destroys tissue and bone. Hydrofluoric acid readily penetrates human skin, allowing it to destroy soft tissues underneath and to decalcify bone. Can literally dissolve your bones and your body, hydrofluoric acid. And it's just, whoops, this just spilled into the creek behind your house, possibly, if you live in this area, and into your lake, possibly your lakefront property that you paid money on. All right, nope. And there's a dam there as well, and it could just be released into the Mississippi River. This is huge that this is happening, and it's just another coincidence that we have. All right, what is happening? Are the American people being poisoned? We already know that our food supply is poisoned, our water supply is poisoned, the skies are poisoned. All right, they spray the skies constantly. Now are they trying to just do more direct attacks to poison our farmland and poison our waterways as well? All right, 43,000 animals have died in Ohio. Think of the cows drinking this water, the chickens drinking this water, the crops being watered with it, and then you eat it as well, and all these animals and stuff get sick too. And there's really just no response. A lot of this stuff is just swept under the rug. We're told that the environmental cause is very important, and I love the environment. I love being outside. I love going on hikes. I love nature. I love animals. I love trees. I love it all. But it's one of these things, I'm worried about these toxic man-made chemicals that we produce, not natural chemicals and compounds that occur naturally and that plants naturally breathe through their stomas, all right? So let's get into this report here too. You can see here the DeSoto County government said the spill was caused by a fire at the Schultz Extruded Products located on McCracken Road in Hernando, Mississippi. It says the fire caused a container that held hydrofluoric acid to leak, resulting in the chemical leaking into the Mussacuna Creek. And you can see here they built a massive dam to block off this creek from this lake and the river, because they know this could be a massive contamination. And I mean, it didn't happen right away. takes time to build this dam, so I'm sure a lot of it already got into the lake, the Arkabutla Lake, and is already flowing downstream into the Mississippi and contaminating all these little towns on the way down as well. Millions of people are at risk from this. All right, millions of people are in the path of this water flowing down. And I will give them credit, at least they did dam this off, because the dams in Ohio look absolutely pathetic compared to this. This is a real dam. It looks like they just dumped a bunch of dirt and soil in there and actually blocked it off. The ones in Ohio are completely pathetic. It's like little rafts and filters and a bunch of junk. This is what they needed to do in Ohio, completely isolate this area off so it doesn't spill. And by the way, the toxic wastewater in Ohio, they are literally transporting it to Texas and I believe Minnesota. Very strange, because that's where they have the treatment plants to process this water, apparently. But now people in Texas and Minnesota are potentially getting this water into their waterways and into their water systems. And it's being transported. How is it even being transported? By trucks all the way down here? Very weird and strange, and just doesn't even make sense, honestly. But it could contaminate Texas and Minnesota as well. So I will give them credit that they actually dammed off this area. This is what they should have done to begin with in Ohio as well. And you can see here, though, but don't worry. I mean, they are saying it's completely safe. Government says it's safe, just like it's in Ohio. It's safe. For some reason, the president will not go there. He will go overseas and walk around a war zone with air raid sirens going off, right? I don't know what's happening over there. So weird. He will do that, but for some reason refuses. He even said, I am not going to Ohio. I have no plans on it. It's just the strangest thing. Why won't he go there? Is it dangerous there? Is he getting briefed that there are toxic chemicals there and it's not safe for the head of state to go there? Maybe that's what's happening right now, but it's safer to go overseas. It's just one of these things. They're giving us a very direct contrast while they're also telling us over there is dangerous and here is safe, but our head of state will go over there, but he won't go to Ohio. It's very strange and feels like a psyop, feels like a psychological operation to tell us, because they always have to tell us what's happening. I've talked about this before, how they warn you, all right? That's their form of consent. They almost always tell you what's coming next. It's just most people don't pay attention, just like this derailment, this movie about it called White Noise in Ohio that came out a few months ago on Netflix about the same exact scenario. We are always warned, but most people don't heed the warning. So you can see here, don't worry, it's safe. It says, a chemical spill was reported in Desoto County Saturday. Crews worked through the night to clean it up. It says Desoto County government provided an update on Sunday. They stated that the action has been taken to neutralize pH levels of the creek water, and it has returned to normal parameters. So don't worry. And it says they are satisfied with the progress, so the dam is currently being removed to allow the creek flow to return. All right, so they put up this dam, they cleaned it up, and they're letting it flow again. Don't worry, just trust them. And they're even saying that right here. It says there's no indication of any contamination of drinking water, both for the city water systems or for any private wells in the area along the creek. So don't even worry, your well's safe as well. It doesn't have hydrofluoric acid in it that could literally melt your skin. All right, I would not trust this. I would have water filters. I would have big Berkey filters. I would have reverse osmosis filters, all that stuff on my tap water if you were in this area especially. And it's one of those things where I lived in an area, all right, of Florida where all the oranges are produced, and they use this very harsh nematode killer, all right, for nematodes in the soil. And it was banned. This was like 50 years ago, and now I still have to have this very special filter to build a well in this part of Florida. All right, this was years ago. I don't live in Florida anymore, but this is what I had to do to build a well in Florida for my small farm down there. I had to get this very special filter. It was a grant through the government, and you could get it. They paid for it because it was so bad, the contamination. And even then, I always felt like the water was just not right. It always tasted funny. It always looked funny. It always smelled funny. And it always messed with my plants as well. The pH was always way off. So it's one of these things. It could definitely be contaminating the water for decades to come, and they could just be like, "Yep, it's fine." I really wouldn't trust them. I would have filtration on my water if I was in this area, all right, and potentially even evacuate if you were right along the creek here. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Is this just another coincidence, or is this just like what's happening to our water supply? And our water supply is critical. That's what waters all the crops. That's what feeds all the animals. You need water, and it could contaminate our food supply, and you could be eating this as well and also contaminate our drinking water. Even private wells get into the aquifer system and our river system. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. Make sure you're hitting that like, hit that sub, hit that bell for me. And I'm super blessed to have you guys watching, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.